welcome to the sparkling motoring jewels that are set on the ring of the finger of Four Wheels Good. This week we bring you news of two supercars that will lay waste to any pretenders to the throne of Grunt. One's an enormous tourer that John Stanley pronounces as classic, and the other whose understated looks thrill the usually steady nerves of Steve Vokins. The chief designer of the new Freelander is given the chance to talk about the way he sees Land Rover's latest sortie into the ever-swelling 4x4 forum. And Dynamo Mr John Wright soothes the weight of our motoring miseries away in Inside Motors. But first, as I mentioned, Cordon Bleu car commentator John Stanley has been examining a vehicle that could never be described as underdone.
Over recent years, the name GT has been heavily misused. It's now associated with hot hatchbacks and small cars with great pretensions. In fact, the name GT is associated and should be associated with fast, sleek, long-legged machines that can get you from A to B with enormous speed and comfort and still enjoy yourself. This is the Mitsubishi 3000, and it is a real GT. It's been maligned by critics, it's been referred to as the Medallion Man's car, and indeed even the Power Rangers transport. But that really says more about the critics than it does the car. I've produced many pieces of music for the record industry, and sometimes you can actually have the right song and the right artist, but still not chart because of some twist in the fashion itself. This too happens in the motor industry. Like the late 60s FF Jensen Interceptor, this 3000 is widely misunderstood. That Jensen was a high-tech showcase. It incorporated the future four-wheel drive, which is now on supercars. It had anti-lock brakes, which was ahead of ABS. It had all manner of electric devices, power steering, but yet only 400 were sold. This 1993 Mitsubishi is also four-wheel drive and was designed purely initially for the Japanese marketplace as a flagship to counter the Nissan GTs, the Honda NSXs, and even the Toyota Supra. It showed off all Mitsubishi's know-how and was really embroiled in one simple supercar. America admired this car a lot and asked for it to be imported, and as a result this went on sale both as the GTO and as the Dodge Stealth. Then, in 1995, Mitsubishi introduced it here into the UK, but it had to have stronger gearbox, it ended up with a German one, and more power and bigger brakes, because we here in Europe tend to drive our cars a good deal harder than the Americans. Unfortunately for Mitsubishi, the GT climate was still in the post-yuppie Porsche 911 era. So what do they include within this great package? Well, under here there is a 281 brake horsepower engine. It's 24 valve, it's a V6 with a turbo for each of the V sections. It has a top speed limited to 155 miles an hour. God knows what it would really go to if it was released. It also has sensors which read the drive and exactly what the car's weight is doing and will compute and reset the shock absorbers continuously. It has an active aerodynamic with a kind of ground effect, with the front spoiler moving 50 millimeters when it's traveling over 50 miles an hour, and a rear wing that moves about 14 degrees to help downforce. This cancels below 31 miles an hour. That enables, of course, maximum down pressure. It has permanent four-wheel drive, which gives enormous grip, and race-proven double wishbone suspension, which is refined by a computer and is switchable here on the dashboard between Sport and Tour. It also boasts four-wheel steering, and their research, unlike some of the other manufacturers, have suggested that the benefits on twisty and wet roads is in fact having the rear wheels steer in the same direction that the front, as opposed to some of the other manufacturers that actually have a reverse process. This only operates above 30 miles an hour, but it helps cornering enormously, and as a result they're able to concentrate on a setup for the road with straight line performance, not having to concern themselves with whether or not it'll topple as your double bends appear. Driving this car over long distances, which I have, it's incredibly safe and sure-footed. Because it's got four-wheel drive and four-wheel steering, and because the suspension is reading the road continuously and changing, you're driving so much within its limits, it's hard to judge it. And without being very irresponsible with road conditions and other users, there's nothing I can do to prove here and now where its limits are. It's sufficient to say that as a Grand Tourer, it really is very safe. Some of the switch gears are a little strange and old-fashioned. On the driver's seat there are electrical controls, and if you press it once to take the car seat forward, it keeps going. You take your hand off and you're sending yourself under the dash. You have to press it a second time, and that's irritating when we're now used to touch-sensitive one-stop switching. And to the dashboard too. The controls for the heater have been given quite a bad press. In actual fact, they're very simple. They're very similar to the BMW ones. There is a display screen, and on that it will show you the different air flows, whether it's recycled or incoming air. You dial the temperature up, and really it takes care of everything else itself. It's the sort of simple switchgear that Mike Rutherford would have on audio, and sadly that isn't on here.
Classic car sage John Stanley taking a drive in the often overlooked yet not to be trifled with Mitsubishi 3000 GT. A while ago, Land Rover had a vision to create the ultimate leisure vehicle in the Freelander. This gave German car giant BMW, having recently bought Rover, a bonus they perhaps didn't expect. Gerry McGovern, the chief designer of Land Rover, recently enlightened us to what went into this exciting new 4x4.
The new Freelander is aimed very much at the compact 4x4 leisure sector of the market. It's a new area of the market for us, and what it will do is bring accessibility for people wanting the Land Rover marque and the pedigree that comes with that. What this vehicle is doing is giving accessibility to a lot more people that aspire to Land Rover, to the marque, that up until now haven't necessarily been able to afford a Land Rover. We haven't set the pricing yet for Freelander, but it will range from £15,000 approximately up to £20,000. Freelander is very much a lifestyle product, but it's just as comfortable off-road as it is on-road. It doesn't have some of the same characteristics, for example, as a Discovery, but then it's not specifically aimed at that area of the market. There are two models. One is the three-door, which has a hardback option or a softback. One of the interesting things about the three-door is the reconfigurability of the vehicle. The softback, for example, can be stowed forward onto the header, and that combined with the removable roof panels gives you a very open, sporty type vehicle. The five-door, on the other hand, is very much a family-orientated vehicle with optimization of interior stowage. When you look at the vehicle, you'll find all sorts of stowage areas at the front of the vehicle in terms of stowage bins on the doors, glove boxes, stowage areas in the rear quarter panels and at the rear, and even up on the headlining with things like the net pockets, which are traditional Land Rover cues, but sunglass holders, all types of very carefully thought out detailing. Dynamically, it's a great car to drive, and of course you have this sort of added value of sitting relatively high, which is very much a Land Rover cue with this authoritative command driving position. And you see this very nice bonnet in front of you, which again is one of the Land Rover cues. And as you walk round the vehicle, although it's very contemporary in its design execution, you will see there are lots of touches which confirm its pedigree as a Land Rover. The interesting thing about Freelander is this unique combination of on-road refinement and on-road dynamics combined with its very capable ability off-road. That's a unique proposition. And it was designed very much from the outset as a Land Rover product. And if you were to compare it with the competition, you'll find that most of that actually is car derived, so you don't have the same capabilities. It's very much a car that can be used every day on the road and as an everyday vehicle. And it's super, and I love it, and I want to buy one.
Well, that's it for part one, but join us after the break when Steve Vokins suspends none of his astonishment when driving a couple of dream cars, both of them Maseratis. And Mr. Nuts and Bolts himself will be fixing gas guzzlers galore. Hello and welcome back. You're watching Four Wheels Good, the programme that brings you to the meaning of motoring. Now, if you like cars with powerful engines that produce massive amounts of brake horsepower and drive at speeds in excess of 160 miles per hour while retaining a look of understated elegance, then Steve Vokins may be able to convince you that a Maserati is the ultimate in reasonably priced supercars.
It's not every day that a new Maserati is launched, but today is one of those special days. I'm here today in Oxfordshire for the launch of the brand new Quattroporte, and I've got with me Richard Gaddazelli to tell me a bit about the new car. Richard, tell me more.
Well, you said it's not every day that a Maserati is launched, and understandably it's a very exclusive brand. We only produce about 1,000 cars a year, and in Britain, although Britain is a very important market for us, we sell about 70 cars a year, so it's a very obviously rarefied product. But yes, we're here to present the new Quattroporte V8, which is an unusual car. It's a four-door sedan with a large boot space, but has the performance that one would expect from a supercar with Maserati's pedigree.
Tell me, what is the Ghibli Cup?
The Ghibli Cup is a brand new model that we bought into the United Kingdom from February of this year. We're only bringing in 25 cars, but this car's been developed from one single mark racing which took place in Europe and is based on that racing car. So it's a 2-litre car developing 330 brake horsepower, exactly the same as the race car. You can imagine 165 brake horsepower per litre. It's a phenomenal output, and I must say that it's been fantastically accepted by everyone in the UK. It's gone down unbelievably well for us.
The interior is very different to the Ghibli GT, isn't it?
The interior is different to the Ghibli GT in so much it has Kevlar finishings rather than wood. It has more aluminium and race style controls, but it still retains the comfort of a standard Ghibli.
It's very much a good blend of race car, but not losing any of the luxury, is it?
Absolutely, and you know, we have clients that they're car enthusiasts. They drive the car. Their wife can go shopping in the car. This is the interesting thing. The clutch is very light. The gears are easy to operate. It's a car that people quickly feel at home in, but with phenomenal performance.
One of the differences between this and the Ghibli Cup is the sheer amount of wood that's gone into this car. In the Ghibli Cup it's all carbon fibre and Kevlar. In this car it's all wood. There's wood everywhere, wooden steering wheel, wooden fascia, even wood on the vents, something I've not seen on any other car. The quality of the wood is phenomenal. The leather is fabulous. The car is just so luxurious. It's very smooth, it's very quiet, it's very quick, and it's very, very refined. This car has a high want factor, and I love it. This car is the fastest 4-door saloon in the world. 170 plus miles per hour, 335 pounds-feet torque, 335 brake horsepower. It is a monster. The nice man at Maserati gave me the keys and showed me how to use this car. He said to beware. He said this is the fastest car I'll have ever driven. I don't know how he knows that, but he's right actually. This car is thunderingly quick. It's 330 brake horsepower and it is just lightningly quick. The interior is beautiful, strange colour of blue leather, but the Kevlar interior is beautiful. All the stuff is where you want it. It's got 4 suspension settings, it's got automatic climate control, it's got everything you want, and it is just beautiful. And it's cheaper than the Porsche 911 as well. Bit of a bargain if you ask me.
It's hard to believe that both of those Maseratis cost considerably less than the comparable Honda NSX and the Porsche 911. Well, it's time now to trek over to see Mr. John Wright, our very own 4 Wheels Good mechanic. He'll tell us all about what goes on inside motors.
Hello and once again welcome to Inside Motors. Catalytic converters have been now standard on cars for about 4 years. Have you ever wondered what a catalytic converter was? What does it do? How does it work? How do I look after it? Well, Howard Nuttall from Bozal UK is going to explain exactly what a catalytic converter does and how to look after it. Howard, what's this you've got in front of you?
Well, this is a catalytic converter before it is welded and put into the final assembly of an exhaust system.
What's inside it?
I'll just show you. The catalytic converter is mainly made up of two stainless steel outer shells. Inside we have a stainless steel ring. We have a ceramic mat which is there to protect the monolith brick. The brick is there to stop all the hazardous chemicals coming through the engine that is caused by the engine into the atmosphere that we all breathe and take in each day.
You've told us exactly how a catalytic converter works. How do people actually look after it?
Well, there's four main things you've got to remember. One is get your car serviced regularly.
Like we're showing people on Inside Motors.
Yeah, always get it serviced at the regular times with the best parts. Always use the best fuel. Never go for the cheapest.
So it's branded fuel rather than the supermarket stuff?
Always recommended, the catalytic converter. Never overfill your sump with oil, and always use the best oil. And one of the most important is be careful when driving down bumpy roads and where you park your car. If you park on a grass verge, you could have a big bonfire.
Because the catalytic converter is running so hot.
Yes.
Whoosh.
Depending on what cars you have and what catalytic converter is fitted, we do have grass shields fitted. You know, i.e. you're off the road 4x4s. But a standard road car, we don't have grass shields on, so it's very careful where you've got to think. You've got to think always where you're parking. So when you're going from your Sunday picnic, just think about where you're parking.
As with many components, modern technology has revolutionised the exhaust business. Aluminiumised steel has extended the life of an exhaust from an average of 18 months 2 years ago to over 2 years now. On the downside of the equation, the number of parts has skyrocketed. For the Ford Cortina, there was 4 parts that covered the entire range. For its equivalent now, the Mondeo, there are over 60. This all adds up to a multi-million-pound business. This warehouse contains over 500,000 individual exhaust systems.
Well, I'm sorry to say that we've come to the end of this week's edition of Four Wheels Good. On the show next week, Richard Warren spends a warm day out with some Jaguar enthusiasts, Stephen Vokins gets to grips with one of his all-time favourite coupes, and John Wright will be continuing to shame us and show us what's under our very own bonnets in Inside Motors. I hope I'll see you then. Bye-bye.